shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
All the rain and clouds have moved out of the area with clearing skies. Temperatures will be dropping. I'll show you when we have a freeze watch across the area. Right now, thousands of people in the Triangle are without power. We'll show you video of trees that came down this morning with gusty winds.
Also, a Durham police officer is on paid administrative leave after shooting a 16-year-old. The update we expect to get in this case today.
And you can learn more about the future of a former DMV headquarters site in Raleigh, when you can meet with city leaders today to ask questions. A lot to tell you about here on this Thursday morning as we move through the week and big weather changes. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, we have some answers as to when it's going to cool off. Now,
yeah,
it's chilly out there this morning. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and that wind was howling last night, too.
It was. It's quieted down nicely right now, but we will see more wind later on this afternoon and for the next couple of days. We've dropped down to 36 now in Roxborough. Elsewhere, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s, so temperatures have been falling, but will fall even more. Tomorrow morning, we'll see widespread 30s across the area. We take a look at what's happening here through downtown Raleigh, courtesy of our Jimmy V camera. 46 degrees right now, but our wind is fairly light, just around 5 miles per hour. It's something that we'll keep watching through the day. Temperatures will be cooler than yesterday, climbing only into the mid-50s, but we'll see lots of sunshine. And with the cooler temperatures, that will continue overnight as well. And we're looking at a freeze watch for tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s to low 30s, so we could see our first freeze in some parts of the viewing area. Tomorrow, we'll talk about wind chill that will go along with it coming up.
And Elizabeth, a lot of people may have heard the howling of the wind last night, obviously with it was kind of blustery across the area, leading to some power outages here. I actually have a map up to show you where some of these outages still exist. At one point across the state, we were talking about maybe 33,000 people without power, but this map right here is from the Wake County Electric Cooperative, and this map right here essentially shows 5,500 people that are still without it, but you'll see it's right up here near the Wake Forest area. And if we look at the North Carolina power outages from poweroutage.us, you could still see roughly about 12,000 people still without power. Coming up at 5 o'clock, in addition to showing you more of the updates on the outages, we're going to show you more of the wind that caused the trees to come down here in the WRAL Live Center. Stay with us.
You are right, Chris. It was howling at points last night. This morning, Durham police will give an update on the shooting of a 16-year-old by an officer that happened Sunday in Woodcroft Shopping Center parking lot. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Durham Police Department this morning. Kelsey, that officer who shot the teenager is on paid administrative leave. That's protocol.
Yes, Jeff, that officer, Rex McQueen, is still on paid administrative leave this morning. So Durham police, we're expecting to get an update from them in the next few hours about where this case stands. But WRAL obtained this document, or rather search warrant. It breaks down new details about the car 16-year-old Joshua Garcia jumped in after he was shot. It also tells us what's on the body cam footage that has not been released yet. The document gives us a better understanding of a surveillance video from a nearby business. We'll show you that video coming up in the next half hour, but Durham police are scheduled to have a news conference this morning at 11:15. We'll have a crew there and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Yeah, this is one we're going to stay on top of and update you after that news conference this morning. Be sure to tune in during our newscast. We'll have it at noon for you, and then from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL.
Today, the question is, who will lead efforts to help people in North Carolina recover from Helene? The head of the state agency in charge of helping hurricane survivors was fired last night. Laura Hogshead was the director of the North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency, also known as Rebuild NC. The office oversees federal hurricane recovery funds. Her ousting comes days after she testified before the North Carolina House Oversight Committee. She was grilled about why more than 1,000 homeowners are still not back in their homes years after Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. WRAL's documentary unit has been covering this for years. Kristen Severance asked Hogshead in 2022 about the problems her office was facing.
If this is on you and you said that and you believe that, then why haven't you resigned?
I don't think that interrupting the recovery to replace the senior leadership here is the right move for the applicants.
Will you turn in your At Monday's legislative hearing, at least one lawmaker asked Hogshead to resign. She refused. Pryor Gibson is now serving as interim director of Rebuild NC.
Today, a Raleigh gas station is set to reopen after being run into by a stolen van. This was the scene on Poole Road this morning, or the morning of July 26th. The van was stolen from the Durham Rescue Mission. The bomb squad was called to make sure there were no hazardous materials, but fortunately there were not, and nobody was hurt that day. That local 76 gas station is celebrating its repairs and reopening today with a discount on fuel. They're going to have some activities, music, and food out there as well.
Police in Johnson County are looking for two men accused of holding construction workers at gunpoint and stealing copper tubing. This happened Monday morning at a construction site in Wilson's Mills. Workers say thieves stole the tubing from a container. Then they tried robbing the workers at gunpoint. The town's police chief says this is one of a number of recent thefts from housing construction sites.
It's a problem everywhere. When you construction sites, you have high value equipment, tools, and you just have lumber. For them to brandish a gun, that was totally unexpected. We had not seen that in our community.
The chief says he is working with construction sites to get them to join the police department's security camera network.
Durham residents will share their thoughts on city budget priorities over dinner tonight. This fall, the city has been hosting community conversations to try to better understand how taxpayers want to spend that money. The events are by registration only and include a free meal and childcare on site. Tonight's meeting is the 6th of its kind and will include a Spanish-speaking presentation. Previous discussions have covered topics like affordable housing, public safety, infrastructure, and workforce development.
Today, you can learn more about the future of the former DMV headquarters site on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. City staff will be there from 11 to 2 today to meet with people and answer their questions. The city bought the site from the state in June. It plans to demolish the buildings and use the property for what it calls community-driven development. It's happening in connection with the New Bern Station Area Plan.
We were able to gather some initial feedback from residents. Affordable housing is the top choice that people have been mentioning to us, but people also want a community space.
They are still in the lengthy phase of gathering community opinions before major decisions about the property's future is set in stone. The existing building is set to be demolished sometime next summer.
Two top 5 football teams will face off Saturday on Fox 50 in a game that will help shape the college football playoff picture. Number 2 Ohio State hosts number 5 and undefeated Indiana. You can catch all the action on Fox 50 starting at noon.
A woman says her 2 daughters are lucky to be alive after a tree fell onto their home when strong storms hit Washington State.
So they were sitting right there where this fell, see?
And we'll hear from the girl's mother, who says they're now trying to salvage what they can.
Well, it's a major discovery by scientists at UNC. We'll explain what's so special about the new planet they just discovered.
And good morning, Cary. This is a live look at downtown Cary Park. It's going to be cooler today and windy. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us how long our cold streak will last.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It's 4:41, and it's definitely a colder start this morning. It was mild yesterday. Of course, we had rain on and off for a good chunk of the day, but that is all over with. And now it's all about the wind. We had some strong winds overnight. The wind has really settled down pretty nicely this morning. It is 48 in Wilson, 46 in Durham, 48 in Fayetteville. But even though the wind has calmed down for a little bit, we are likely to see more windy conditions as we get through the afternoon. We take a look at our temperatures right now, heading out the door, mostly 40s. It's 41 in South Hill, but 50 in Goldsboro, 43 in Lewisburg, 40 degrees in Southern Pines. Breezy at times this afternoon. We'll see winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour as we head through the afternoon. And of course, that means you definitely want to send the kids out with a jacket. Temperatures only in the mid-50s this afternoon.
New this morning, a group of people on an American Airlines flight had to restrain a man who tried to open the cabin door. This happened on a flight from Milwaukee to Dallas Tuesday, and according to the police report, a flight attendant said the man demanded to get off the plane. He became loud and agitated and then rushed the flight attendant to try to open the cabin door. That's when 3 other passengers pinned him down and duct taped his wrists and ankles. The flight attendant was hurt in that altercation. The man was taken into custody once the flight landed safely and will now undergo a mental health evaluation. So far, charges have not been filed.
A volcano in Iceland erupted for the 7th time this year. The eruption created a fissure in the earth just under 2 miles long. The overnight lava spew came with little warning to seismologists. Many in the nearby town of Grindavik have chosen to leave over infrastructure concerns. Visitors to the famous Blue Lagoon Resort were evacuated.
At least 2 people are dead after strong storms hit the Northwest. In the city of Kelso, Washington, a tree came down on top of a home with 2 people inside it. Claudia Ramos says that her 2 kids were sitting in the living room when that tree fell down on the home. Ramos says her 2 daughters are lucky to be alive, and she's thankful her older child protected her younger sister.
It definitely hits me in all the feels, you know, like she just, you know, her instincts kicked in and it was gotta save my sister, you know, we gotta get out of this house.
Yeah, the sisters have some bruises and cuts, but they will be okay. Now the family is trying to salvage what they can.
Asheville is known for its craft beer scene, but in the aftermath of Helene, brewing has essentially come to a halt for the more than 75 breweries in and around the city. Asheville's craft beer industry generates more than $900 million a year into the economy. Many breweries were severely damaged by the flooding from Helene. Wedge Brewery in the River Arts District lost nearly everything. They are rebuilding during a time of year when they would normally be filled with customers.
And to feel like you're going into your busiest season of the year and you're very well prepared for that, and then it's completely gone the next day.
Breweries that were not badly damaged are facing the challenge of having to truck water in for use in their brewing. Burial Brewing says that costs them about $1,000 a day. And Burial plans to team up with Wedge to collaborate on a special beer to benefit breweries.
Alec Baldwin's Western movie Rust has finally made its world debut. It premiered at a film festival in Poland. It comes just over 3 years after cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed in a shooting incident on that New Mexico set. The shooting resulted in criminal cases and lawsuits. It also sparked conversation about the use of real guns in Hollywood. According to the New York Times, Alec Baldwin did not attend the screening. Hutchins' husband and his son were also not present.
Covering Cumberland County, the construction leaders behind the Crown Event Center project will host a pre-bid meeting for subcontractors. The meeting will cover all bid packages except site work, aggregate piers, concrete, and steel. The meeting will be held virtually at 4 p.m. The Crown Event Center will feature a 3-story main event hall with a capacity of approximately 3,000 people. The Crown Event Center is expected to open in the spring of 2027.
Scientists from UNC say they've discovered the youngest planet in space so far. The planet is only 3 million years old. A report by astronomers says infant worlds are usually hidden by other debris. Researchers say the planet is still glowing from the heat of its formation. It's located about 430 light years away.
Dancers from the Triangle will get to shine on national television in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 69 local high school dancers from the Holly Springs School of Dance will represent North Carolina in New York City. They've been busy rehearsing their routine. This is the studio's 8th time performing in the parade since 2003. Dancers from Legacy Dance Productions in Zebulon will also be performing in the parade, as well as Hillsborough Cheer and Dance. Also, Clinton High School senior Bailey Waters will be playing in the prestigious Macy's Great American Marching Band. Watch for them when the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade airs live on WRAL next Thursday.
Day by day, we're getting a little bit closer to what it's going to feel like Saturday morning. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We're all keeping an eye on that because temperatures are dropping.
They are. So we're going to start to feel that today. Yesterday was a fairly mild day, but it was wet, and that has all changed. So we take a live look here at downtown Raleigh, down Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera. Temperature right now, 46. The temperatures will easily be at least 10 degrees colder tomorrow morning than they are today, but we'll definitely feel it this afternoon, too. High temperatures only in the mid-50s. We have dropped to 36 now in Roxborough, and these temperatures will probably keep dropping. You know, the front has just moved through, so we've just opened the door to the cooler temperatures. It'll take a little bit of time for that coldest air to arrive. It was windy as the front came through last night. The winds will likely pick up a little bit more later on today, but right now winds are starting to turn to northwest around 5 to 10. We do have gusts in Rocky Mount up to around 20, but that's kind of left over from the front sliding off to the east. Our wind gust forecast today will increase. This morning we're fairly calm, but this afternoon expect 20 to 25 mile per hour winds from around lunchtime up until around 6 p.m. So it does become blustery, and we could see some more power outages. When the front came through, there were a lot of power outages to the west, and we've seen a cluster of those too around the Triangle area and some counties just to the north. It will be a cool afternoon, 56 in Raleigh, 55 in Durham, and 60 in Fayetteville, but beautiful and clear. Our low pressure system moves on out of here and around it. It's grabbing that cold air from Canada and pushing it right into our area. Notice it is warmer up to the north. Eventually, we'll start to see some of that rotating back in. But in the meantime, our coldest morning potentially of the year tomorrow morning at 34. Our normal low is 39. After that, temperatures will be a bit warmer, 30s and 40s through Monday. And then next week, we see a pretty big jump in our temperature. So this is going to be just a little small cold snap. So frost and freezing conditions possible tonight. 31 in Roxborough, 32 up in South Hill, 34 in Durham, 35 in Fayetteville and Clinton. So bundle up. We do have a freeze watch in effect for tomorrow morning. If you have any leftover house plants outside, you definitely want to bring those in. It's not just the cold temperatures, it's the wind chill too. It's going to feel tomorrow like 29 in Durham, 32 in Fayetteville, 29 South Hill and in Rocky Mount. And then on Saturday morning, feeling better for the Christmas parade. It may be that we're feeling like 35 to 40 at parade time. It may be more like 35 as you're lining the parade route and closer to 40 as the parade begins. But no matter what, it's going to be a cold start to the parade. Don't forget, you can watch it right here at 9 o'clock. Notice the temperatures do bounce up some next week. We'll talk about what it could look like for Thanksgiving Day coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. American Airlines is cracking down on people who skip the line to board their flight quicker. We'll tell you about the new technology that alerts airline employees.
Plus, some sweet recognition for a few local businesses. We'll tell you which ice cream shops have been awarded for their favorite flavors.
Just in time for the holiday travel season, American Airlines is rolling out technology that shames those who cut in line during the boarding process. The airline says passengers who tried to board before their assigned group will set off an error beep, alerting the gate agent. Oh no. American is now rolling out the technology to over 100 airports. American says it plans to fly more than 8 million passengers over the Thanksgiving holiday period. Oh no for the guilty parties who cut in line.
Well, yeah. Busted. It's going to be embarrassing. Well, last night was historic for the longtime Connecticut Huskies head women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma. He set the all-time record for most wins as a head coach in women's or men's college basketball history, reaching that number 1,217 after his second-ranked Huskies beat Fairleigh Dickinson. And made it more special because that 85-41 blowout win happened right in front of their home fans in Storrs, Connecticut.
He's created a dynasty. Hollywood is gearing up for award season. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
I can't believe my life.
Believe it, Viola Davis is already an EGOT, an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony winner, and now she's receiving the highest honor from the Golden Globes. Davis is the 2025 Cecil B. DeMille Award honoree. She'll be recognized at a gala dinner January 3rd in Beverly Hills and on the Golden Globes telecast January 5th.
He's not in love with you.
What makes you think I want someone to be in love with me?
The Gotham Awards love Zendaya. They're giving the actress this year's Spotlight tribute for her performance in Challengers. The 34th Gotham Awards will be handed out December 2nd in New York.
We got a feeling we were getting a glimpse of the future.
AARP The Magazine has some Bob Dylan fans. A Complete Unknown is up for 5 honors at the magazine's Movies for Grown-Ups Awards, including Best Picture. The other Best Picture nominees, Conclave, which is up for 6 awards, including Best Actor for Ralph Fiennes, the musical Emilia Perez, up for a total of 3 honors, Gladiator 2, which received 4 nominations, and September 5, also with 4 nominations. The Movies for Grown-Ups Awards will take place January 11th in Beverly Hills and be telecast on PBS February 23rd. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Comedian and television host Jay Leno is looking a little rough after falling down a hill. Leno fell while trying to take a shortcut down a hill on the way to a restaurant. And now, eye patch wearing Leno says his body is bruised, black and blue. The 74-year-old also said he broke his wrist and lost a fingernail in the fall. Leno still went on to perform later that evening.
The Coachella Music Festival has announced the performers for 2025. Lady Gaga, Travis Scott, Green Day, and Post Malone will headline that festival. Other performers will include Missy Elliott, Megan Thee Stallion, Charlie XCX, and Benson Boone. The California Festival will be held April 11th to the 13th and 18th to the 20th.
A couple of local ice cream shops are being recognized nationally for their award-winning flavors. 2 Roosters and Andia's were both honored by the North American Ice Cream Association. Andia's, which is in Cary, won first place in the regular ice cream category for its mango jalapeno margarita ice cream, while 2 Roosters, a shop in Raleigh, Durham, and Wake Forest, won 2 second-place awards, one for their Earl Grey and lemon cookie dough flavor, and one for their non-dairy cookie butter flavor. The 2 shops won out of hundreds of entries from across the country. Oh, would love to be a judge for that. Durham's police chief will speak about the shooting of a 16-year-old by an officer, what we've learned from warrants about the lead up to shots being fired.
Also, a heads up, your skincare routine could be harmful. The product being recalled after users reported skin irritation.
And AMC Theaters is preparing for Wicked's opening weekend. The theater rules for moviegoers.
That was you who made all that happen.